Should we even think of it as a book?
I think that's a valid question.
My question was going to be, is it a book?
It's a book-like product.
Yeah.
I think book-like product is a great new term that we should make mainstream.
Throwing that one around for 10 years, Elly.
But also, like, what is a book? You know, like, does a book have to go through traditional channels? I feel like we've spent a lot of our careers sort of debunking that idea. I mean, most of the books Microcosm sells aren't through bookstores. We love bookstores. We sell books through them, but you know, they're a narrow part of the funnel.
Hi, I'm Joe Beal, the founder and CEO of Microcosm Publishing. I'm also the author of A People's Guide to Publishing, which distills what I've learned from selling millions of books over the past 28 years.
I'm Elly Blue, the vice president of Microcosm. We started this podcast to share what we've learned with newer publishers, so you can learn from our mistakes. Or maybe you just want to learn about the publishing industry.
This week, we welcome back special guest to the pod, Jane Friedman of The Hot Sheet, here to debunk another common myth and misconception in the broader publishing industry, which is everyone's favorite author, Taylor Swift, and her latest self-publishing get-rich-quick scheme. And it's a fascinating controversy because it like just sort of illuminates where the misconceptions are.
Taylor Swift announced that she is going to publish basically a photo book of memorabilia from the Eras tour. So like photos that haven't been released, behind the scenes stuff. I assume she's curating this, and then there are maybe some little notes from her about the experience. So she decided to partner with Target on this, and the book is releasing on Black Friday. I think it's maybe a $30 or $40 book. I assume hardcover. A lot of people were upset because they felt like she was cutting out the traditional publishing market. I think there are people concerned about booksellers not having access to sell what they think will be the biggest book of the year, like have the most volume of sales. But I think just so we have all the facts here, I think everyone should know that Taylor Swift has done exclusive partnerships with Target in the past with her music. So this is like, I see it, as part of that ongoing relationship. And remember, Black Friday, I mean, it's clearly, a piece of merchandise intended to lure people into the stores. Yes, I've seen lots of divided opinions on this. Like, for example, the publisher's marketplace analyst, Michael Cater, was trying to push back against the pessimists. He's saying, look, this is great for publishing. Someone who is one of the biggest names in the world or biggest celebrities has decided she wants to do her book-like product. Like there's still value in the book-like product.
Great
and
point.
There's nothing wrong with getting people to buy a book. Maybe they will buy other books afterward. And I think he's anticipating, we will see that after the exclusivity agreement with Target is over, then the book will in fact make its way through traditional channels. It will, be available to be purchased through bookstores, etc. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not even sure it matters. But there on the pessimist side of this, people or the people who want to say that publishing is dead or is dying. They like to say, well, all celebrities are going to do this in the future, and I just really question that. Taylor Swift is, I think, unique among celebrities. She has a really intense relationship with her fans. She knows what they want. She doesn't need a publisher to do this sort of book for her fans. But I bet you anything in the future, let's say she writes her memoirs, as most musicians do, I don't think she's going to be self-publishing it. We can bookmark that on the video and come back to it in the future, however many decades it takes, to see if I was right or wrong.
Yeah, so somebody's going to screen cap that 10 years from now and be like, Friedman said.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is like she is in an era of wanting to like maintain close control over her intellectual property.
That's
like
true.
everything is Taylor's version, and it makes sense that she wouldn't want to trust another company with that. I get it. And it sounds like her team has what it takes to produce a product of book-like or otherwise, sell it to Target, handle the returns and damages from that. Like they're good for them.
And yeah, I mean, and I was going to draw that same parallel back to like she's not been treated well by publishing companies in the past, so naturally the conclusion is, well, who needs you? But yeah, I guess that's sort of the interesting, and that's a great point, that like there's a value for a celebrity to make a book-shaped object and sell it on an exclusive deal. There's value for this person to use essentially this format as a product. But yeah, and then there is the bigger looming question of like, most Taylor's stuff, as I understand it, is like a Target exclusive at first, and then it goes, as we say in the publishing or the self-publishing industry, wide.
Mm-hmm.
So does that seem, I mean, I guess that would be your prediction?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's also the market outside of the US that Target, I don't think Target has an international presence, or if it does, it's pretty limited. So they're going to have to be deals with other sorts of partners, maybe, who knows, but this is just stage one of this book-like product.
Right.
Well, we can all follow along with the doings of billionaires, whether they are from traditional publishing backgrounds or not.
Oh, the other thing I just wanted to quickly say, since you mentioned billionaires, I think there's concern that, oh gosh, am I going to remember the thought? Oh, that if publishers don't have celebrity books, the billionaire books, that they somehow will not be sustainable. And I don't think people recognize that actually a good number of the billionaire celebrity books don't do that well. So I don't like that myth either, that somehow you need these huge celebrities to make a publisher run. It's not the case.
No, I mean, look how that Billie Eilish book sank like a stone.
Right.
I mean, there's a cautionary tale for pop stars and publishers.
That one. But that, yeah, I was going to point out the same thing. It's like most of those books do not earn out because there's a bidding war, and the agency gets a nice check, and the author gets a nice check, and the publisher loses $100,000,
Right.
$500,000. I mean, that's a great point. The argument I saw the most was saying that essentially like independent bookstores are or are not equipped to handle crowds. And I was like, are Taylor Swift fans going to be like camped out at 8 a.m.? Like, what are they picturing here? And
I mean, it seems like her best bet is to sell it at her shows, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. And I assume they have a merch table, but I don't know. I'm out of the demographic. I mean, as in I'm too old.
Now I hadn't seen that argument. That's very interesting.
And so what else are people like showing their misunderstanding through how they're misinterpreting this situation?
Oh, I think that's probably the extent of it. I don't think the self-publishing community, I think, likes this. And they think that it's just one more indicator that traditional publishing is losing its relevance. And I just think this is such an outlier.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like looking at Elon Musk and being like, I too could be billionaire. It's probably like, I shouldn't hate on that guy. Like, then I'll never become a billionaire, And it's like, to be a self-published author, it's to be like, oh, Taylor Swift and I are the same. It's
right.
Like also sort of an argument lacking air, like,
yeah,
like not understanding what's fundamentally the difference, But
I just want to have a moment of silence to acknowledge all of the Taylor Swift puns that we could be making in this episode, but we clearly are not fan enough to do.
Thanks for joining us once again.
Please send your questions to podcast@microcosmpublishing.com so we can answer them on future episodes.
And please give us 5 stars on iTunes and everywhere else that podcasts are reviewed.
You can find us on the internet at microcosm.pub.
On Twitter at Microcosm.
On Facebook at Microcosm Publishing.
On Instagram at Microcosm_pub.
And here in Portland, Oregon on North Williams Avenue.
Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful week.